Hello, everyone. I believe that we are live now, and I wanted Luke and Sophia to just give us a little welcome to Love Talks. Um, so they just wanted to stop in for a moment and say hello. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I am your host, Ina Love, and today we will actually be starting a new series of Love Talks. If you're a regular, you know that every 4 or 5 weeks, I start a new series on a new topic. And today, our topic is "Tis the Season," because here we are in the holiday season, and I thought it would be really good to talk about ways of getting through this season and having joy in our hearts. So, obviously, Luke and Sophia are identified today with their little pink and blue ribbons. But anyways, they just wanted to say hello, and I'm going to put them aside, and then we can get started. Okay, so thank you again for joining me for Love Talks. Um, I always like to start by saying if you are new to Love Talks, I have been doing these series since July, actually. And if you have missed, I do these every Sunday at 5 o'clock. So if you've missed any of the previous Love Talk segments, feel free to take a look at my Facebook page. Also, I have a YouTube channel at Ina Love Poetry, or my website, somethingaboutlove.foundation.org. So you can take a look at the different Love Talks that I've done and, see if anything grabs your attention, and, maybe take a little time to catch up on some of the Love Talks that I've done. And, and I hope you'll continue to watch going forward. So, as I said, today we are starting a series on finding joy in the holidays. 'Tis the season. Because, the holidays truly are a joyful time, or should be a joyful time. As we all know, this year, obviously, things are quite a bit different. And, even under normal circumstances, some people experience what is known as the holiday blues. So, again, with everything that we're going through right now, some of that may be, that may be something that some of, more than normal, that many of us are, finding these times to be challenging for a multitude of reasons. So obviously, the holidays are typically a very festive time when, things are so colorful and cheerful, and, all the lights and all the hoopla of the gift buying, and, the whole frenzy of preparing for the Christmas season. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, there's still just, that energy of excitement that's in the air. But as I said, under these circumstances, we're all dealing with the pandemic. And, I think throughout this year, we've been sort of learning to cope and readjust to the way that things are. Certainly I do believe that things will get better, but, just the way things are today, we're learning to cope and adjust with, everything that we're dealing with. And I know that, a lot of people are dealing with some really serious hardships right now. They could be, uh, perhaps financial hardships, perhaps the loss of a loved one. There's a lot of things that we're all dealing with right now in this time. Also there's a lot of fear that's running right now. Everyone is just, really afraid of the pandemic and of the virus. All we hear about constantly is, how many people have the virus and how many people have lost their lives. And, it can be very frightening. But today I'm actually going to share some information that I hope will help you to find new ways of coping with everything that's happening, and also to get through this season. So, few weeks ago, had a post on Facebook that I wanted to talk about a little bit because based on some of the comments that I received, I felt that, this was something worthy of a little bit of discussion. So I made a post basically saying that the pandemic has given all of us an opportunity to grow in love and faith. And obviously, I know for myself personally, I've had a lot of insights and, a lot of lessons and things that I'm learning from this pandemic experience. But I saw very clearly that it has given me an opportunity to grow in love and in faith. And I think the reason that may have been a little confusing for some is that typically when we think of love, we think of being in love. We think of being in a relationship. Well, in Love Talks, and obviously that is a beautiful part of love. But in Love Talks, I'm actually typically speaking of the love of God and learning to love God. So when I say that it's an opportunity to grow in love, I'm truly speaking of, getting to know God, developing that closer relationship with God because God is love. So that's really kind of where I was coming from with that statement. Also, the opportunity to grow in faith, I think, is a little more obvious in that, now more than ever, we truly need our faith to stand on. Faith is what is going to get us through this experience. And so I hope that, sort of makes that clear if you happen to see that comment. And also I want to mention for anyone who may be new to Love Talks, since March of this year, when the pandemic began, I've been posting just positive information, like, just little statements each day, just, like a little drop of inspiration, just to try and help us all get through this time. So, please check out my page. There's new information that I share each day. And obviously now the little kittens are in my life. So I've been, having fun sharing really, funny pictures of them and making cute memes out of them, just little ways to just, I think everything helps. And just sharing a little bit of love and light because, obviously these little guys I didn't know were coming into my life, but they have truly brought a source of joy and life into my home. And I'm sharing some of that love. So that's what that is all about. So as I said, there's a lesson in everything. Truly there is. We learn, from every encounter that we have with someone and every experience that we have in life. So through the pandemic, there are a lot of things, and I'm just, again, sharing some of my insight. But, I've just learned to appreciate things so much more, like even the little things, before the kittens came along, I was sharing, images of flowers each day where I would just go out walking and look for a new flower to photograph and share, share that. But, it was just beauty in the little things, because, little things, sometimes mean the most. So I think that is one lesson that I've learned through this pandemic experience is that, life is truly a gift and we have to look for, reasons to be happy, reasons to make ourselves happy. We have to look on the brighter side, look for the positive in things. I think we've also learned to, we're truly learning the value of life. We've all heard that, no one is promised a day, but clearly in the midst of everything that's happening, it's even more evident and obvious that, no one is promised a day. There are many, many people who this time last year, probably never even considered that they may not be here, a year later. But, this is the situation that we're in, and we're all, trying to find ways to get through this as best we can. So I know for me personally, one of the things that has been, like the biggest challenge for me is sort of the waiting, if you will, because, you know, like I said, we didn't see the pandemic coming. We have no idea how long this is going to continue, or even, the absolute solution, how to fix this, how to heal this, what is life going to look like going forward. And it's just, all of the unknowns and the uncertainty, that, we're so used to having our lives, somewhat in control, where, we know what to expect day to day. And now, we've just been thrown into a situation that none of us have experienced before. So, it's a very confusing time. But more than anything, it's just so vital and important that we just, as I said, grow in faith, lean on God. That's truly how we are going to get through this time. So, really take some time to reflect on life, reflect on the things that really matter most. Reflect on, there's so many things that we really just need to take the time to stop and think about and evaluate and heal, release, just there's a lot of inner work that we need to be doing at all times. Life is truly what I like to call a daily practice, where you wake up each and every day and you say, today I'm going to make the most of today. Because trying to look ahead, trying to think of what's going to happen next week or next month or next year, sometimes that can be truly overwhelming. So we just want to take it one day at a time and do the best that we can in this day. And then tomorrow, we'll deal with tomorrow when it comes. Obviously there are things that, we're always planning for, things that, we have to take preparations for. But in terms of how we feel, particularly if you're, having a lot of fear and a lot of stress and things of that nature, just take it one day at a time. When I go walking through my neighborhood, if I cross paths with a neighbor or anyone, I always say, how are you? And a few days ago, a gentleman said, he said something to the effect that I'm hanging in there. And I just said to him, just take it one day at a time, you know? So, and that's really all that we can do. We do our best today, and then tomorrow we'll do the same. So, and I think also what this experience is really teaching us is to truly surrender. We are really starting to see that God truly is in control. There are so many things that are out of our control, but, we just have to let go and trust that, God has a perfect plan for all of us. And I truly do believe that, if we truly develop that relationship with God, we know that God is going to get us through this. So, it's about letting go of that, the idea that, that we are so in control of things, because clearly we're not. We really have to, we have to trust God in this time. And I think, again, that is another lesson that we are learning through this experience. Life truly is our greatest teacher. As I said, we learn from everyone and every experience. So, as I said, Love Talks, it's obviously, we're talking about love, learning to love God, learning to love ourselves, and ultimately learning to love one another. But love in and of itself is actually, it's a power. It is an energy that we all have available for our use. And we really want to learn to tap into that power, to access that power, and use that, in our lives to create the life that we are wanting for ourselves. So, everything is of God. God is love. As I've said before, God and love are truly one and the same. So, we really want to put some focus and attention on love, on being a person of love, of also attention on, learning to love God. And as I said, certainly learning to love ourselves, because, we all know this, but it's absolutely true that you can't love anyone. You can't love another person until you learn to love yourself. And, so many of us are trying to give love, but, we struggle with receiving love, or even, how to love ourselves. So, we just need to be aware of these things each and every day. Be aware of, how we're showing up in the world, in our interactions with other people, how we feel about ourselves. We just, it's almost like you have to just observe yourself, observe the thoughts that you're thinking, observe the things that you're saying, the things that you're doing. Be aware of these things. And, we have to start to shift, some of our ways of being to a more positive, a more loving, a more beautiful and lighthearted way of being, a more joyful way of being, truly, because, life truly is meant to be happy. And I think, perhaps that's something that many people have forgotten. I think, some people have been unhappy for so long, it's like we don't even know how to find our way back to joy. And we're looking for so many ways, to fill that void. But you're not going to ever find happiness outside of yourself. Those are temporary things. True joy is just a state of being when you're happy just because, without reason. And truly, we have so many reasons to be happy, so many reasons to be thankful. We are truly blessed, and life in and of itself is a gift. And, as I said, the pandemic and this whole experience with the virus is really showing us the value of life and just how precious it is. So, just to wake up every day with the mindset that, life is a gift, and I'm blessed just to be here. And truly we are, because, there's so many people who are not here today. And which, by the way, if you have lost a loved one, I sincerely want to express my condolences. Because we're all, as I said, really trying to figure out how to get through this time. And there's so many things that are coming at us. It's a very confusing time, but we just have to just, get still and pray our way through this and know that God is going to see us through. We have to be positive. We have to be optimistic. We have to believe. There's so many things that we can do to help ourselves get through this time. Don't allow yourself to be pulled into all the negative thoughts. If you're a person who watches the news all the time, maybe take a break from some of that, because it can really be overwhelming when you're, just hearing these things constantly. So, just kind of step back and give yourself a chance to just breathe, and just, become really still and centered in the truth. And the truth is that God is with us, and that God is going to see us through this experience. So, just from a sense of gratitude, from a sense of believing, a sense of that true faith in God, allow yourself to just let go of some of the fear, let go of some of the worry and the doubt, and all the negative thoughts, that may be looming, and just really lean on God, show God that I trust you, that I believe in you. I know that you've got me. I know that you're going to get me through this. And, think those, say these things to yourself until you actually believe them. We tell ourselves so many negative things throughout the day. We really work ourselves up into a frenzy. And, I read something the other day that said, so many of us are worried about things that haven't even happened yet. We're worried about, something that might happen, but it might not ever happen. So we really have to be aware of what we're thinking and what we're saying to ourselves, and tell ourselves some positive things, some, encouraging things, encourage yourself. And if you're not able to do that, lean on someone who is able to encourage you, but understand that, even if you don't have anyone to lean on, because I know that a lot of people, may even be feeling very lonely in this time, that, we are never truly alone, that God is ever present. And, you can speak aloud to God. I do that all the time because I live alone. So when I talk to God, there's no reason for me to, speak in prayer. I speak to God aloud. And, it really makes me feel as if I have a relationship. And that's what we're building. We're building a relationship with God that, as I said, is going to get us through this time. So, we have to stay positive. We have to stay focused because those things truly do matter. We want to really start to prepare ourselves. And that's why I'm calling this "Tis the Season," because, let's get through this holiday season. The new year is coming up in a few weeks, and we need to start preparing ourselves to step into a new year free and clear, meaning, free from, any doubts, fears, and worries that may still be looming. And again, I do understand that, some people are truly facing real hardships that, you just don't know how it's going to work out, but you have to believe that it will. Just start by believing that it will. Don't allow yourself to get yourself so worked up in that fear, because, all of that stress and, when we do that to ourselves, that can actually cause us, sickness and illness in our body. And now more than ever, we want to stay positive. We want to stay uplifted. We want to keep our spirits high, and, by trusting in God and staying positive, staying focused, you are actually basically willing yourself to get through this time, and hopefully, unscathed and unharmed. So, we have to believe that. We truly have to believe it. So, again, just take it one day at a time. Stay close to God, as I love to say. And that means, just keep God on your heart, keep God on your mind, talk to God. If the fear is showing up, just say, God, help me to release this fear. Take this fear away. I don't need it. I don't want it. Our mindset is truly half the battle. In any experience that we go through, any type of challenges that we go through, our mindset is half the battle. So, with a positive outlook and a positive mindset, believe me, you're going to move through that so much easier and so much quicker. But, you have the power to do that. And, just be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, and allow yourself to, to think those positive thoughts. As I said, if you have a friend or someone that you can lean on, certainly do that. If not, you have God. That is a great, the absolute best resource. And truly, just, with a thought, in an instant, God is there. Anytime your attention is on God, know that, the presence is with you. Truly, it's ever present. But when your attention is on God, know that God is truly with you. And, when your attention and your mind is caught up in negative thoughts, and, like I said, all of those things that have a tendency to just really take over us, we're not focused on God. There's a quote, and I can't remember if I said this a little while ago, but it says, suffering comes when we stray from God. So anytime that we are really just, getting ourselves really worked up in fear or doubt or worry and all of those things, truly we have strayed from God. Because if we are truly present, aware of the presence of God, that God has us, that God is for us, that God is going to see us through, you are connected to God. And that truth is what propels you to move through that experience. So be aware when that fear and negativity and all of those things are showing up, and put your attention on God. Again, that is what is truly going to help you to, to transform those thoughts, and begin to release some of those fears and doubts. And because, we have to find ways to bring joy into our lives, no matter what we're going through. There's still so many things to be thankful for. We are so absolutely blessed in so many ways. So, try a gratitude journal or even writing. Writing is so powerful. If you just can't seem to get your mind off some of your worries, do things, to help you. Don't just sit in your thoughts. So, even if you're writing about your worries, that could be a great way of releasing them. Put them on paper, write them down with an intention that you are releasing them. And some people even like to write their troubles and then they will actually burn that and consider that as a way of releasing that. But you can do the same thing just by praying and giving it to God, but truly surrendering that prayer and knowing that it is done. When we pray and when we say amen, you should actually feel as if the prayer has already been answered. And that is truly so powerful in manifesting, or bringing in the things that you are asking for. You have to know that it is done. So, whatever it is, whether it's something that you need in your life, something that you need to release that no longer serves you, you pray to bring that in, pray to release it, and release that prayer knowing that it is done. So, as I said, we really want to start to focus on preparing for 2021. This is the season to do that. This is the season or the time. This year is coming to a close, and that sounds really great. Like I'm really, with everything that we have gone through in 2020. In some way, I'm almost happy to see this year come to a close, although we have no idea, what 2021 has in store for us. But believe me, I'm going to step into January 1. Well, every day until January 1, but certainly on January 1, I'm going to step into this day, with some positivity and enthusiasm and, just believing that, that good things are coming. Nothing lasts forever. So we're going to move through this experience. As I said, none of us knows when or even, exactly how, but there is power in believing, the power in prayer. So when you're praying, please consider praying for others, because, that is also another really beautiful way of transforming, anything negative that you might be feeling, by doing something for someone else in helping others. We are blessed when we help others. So if anything, just pray for the world. If you know of someone who's having a hard time, pray for them. So bring some joy into your life by knowing, that you are helping someone else in a small way, because, everything matters. Every little random act of kindness goes a long way for someone. So, there's so many things that we can be doing this year, in the spirit of, of this season, in the spirit of love, in the spirit of giving. There's so much that we can be doing. So, as I said, it might help you to get through this time, by doing something for someone else. So, just something to consider. And again, as I said, prayer is a beautiful gift that you can always give. So, let's pray for our world, pray to heal our world, pray, that we're going to move through this experience, and, pray often, really put some good, positive, focused energy into your prayers. So, sometimes before we pray, it's a good idea to just get centered. Just take some deep cleansing breaths and allow yourself to just believe. Allow yourself to just in that time of prayer, if you can just let go of your worries, to be absolutely centered and clear. You're putting a beautiful energy into your prayer, and that's really powerful. So, just, all of these things, as I said, I just, just things to think about, things to consider. a new way of doing things. Because sometimes we get so caught up in our pattern, in our way of doing things, like even our way of, our ideas of what we think happiness is. It may be a time for us to start reframing that, start thinking of happiness in another way. Because as I said, so many of us are looking for happiness in things. We're looking for happiness in a relationship, or, in a job, or in a home, or, there's so many things that we think our happiness is eluding us. But happiness is a state of being, and it should be ever present in whatever circumstance or situation, that you can just find something to be thankful and joyful about. And believe me, as I keep saying, that is what is going to help you to get through the more challenging experiences that we go through. So, as I said, we are all pursuing so many things in life. We're in pursuit of relationships, we're in pursuit of a job, we're even in pursuit of happiness, believe it or not. We all want to be happy. We may not know how to get to that place of joy, but we are pursuing something that we think is going to make us happy, when truly what we should be pursuing is love, because God is love. And in the pursuit of love, we are truly getting to know God. We are, allowing the love of God to come into our heart and into our life. And that is truly what transforms everything. So, really give some time and focused attention on love. And, truly through Love Talks, I hope to, really reframe the way that we think of love. Again, love is a beautiful energy that we have to use. It's a power that we can access to have the things that we want in life. So when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about God. I'm talking about getting to know God and tapping into that power source that is going to transform everything in your life. Because, truly love is what makes everything possible. So, it really hurts my heart when I hear people say they've given up on love. And I know that, obviously, people who say that, they think they're giving up on a relationship, or, of finding love. But, there's an aspect of love that is truly not really about a relationship. It's not about, being in a relationship with another person. It's about being in a relationship with God. It is about, learning to love yourself, learning to love life, learning to love God. That is the truest form of love. And, a love that I said, as I've said, is ever present. And you really want to connect with that source. So, as I said, we have so much to be thankful for. And we really just need to be aware that, life is happening right now, today. Your life is right now in this moment. And if you can just, take a breath in any moment and say, right now in this moment, I choose to be happy. It's a choice. As I said, we've gotten ourselves so caught up in a paradigm of fear and worry and all the things that are swirling around us, and we really have to start to shift that, to start to really create a life of joy. Give yourself permission to be happy. I remember doing that years ago when I started on what I call my quest or my journey to find happiness. I literally spoke that I want to be happy, and I was giving myself permission to be happy. And when I realized that I wanted to be happy, then I realized that there were some steps that I needed to take. There were actions that I needed to, things that I needed to do, things that I needed to change. But, we have to first start by making a conscious decision that we want to be happy. Tell yourself, I want to be happy. I choose to be happy. Um, and you actually put that energy in motion. So anytime you find yourself, feeling down, feeling low, feeling lonely, sad, depressed, any of those things, tell yourself, I want to be happy. I choose to be happy. And you keep saying it until you believe it, put that energy in motion. As I said, perhaps for a very long time, you've been putting your energy into the idea that you are unhappy. Well, you can change your mind and you can decide to be happy beyond your circumstances. And believe me, that positive, powerful, um, vibration, that energy is what is going to change the circumstances, what is going to get you out of, whatever it is that may be holding you down. So again, just be aware of what you're thinking, be aware of how you're feeling, and start to tell yourself something different. So, as I said, 'tis the season. Here we are, in the holiday season. We just went through Thanksgiving, and I'm sure for most of us, myself included, it was a very different experience. And, I'm sure, to some degree, that Christmas will be, also different to some degree. Perhaps, like I'm sure at this time I probably would have been traveling to Texas to spend, the Christmas holidays with family. But I won't be doing that this year because, I personally don't feel safe to travel right now. But although I'm not with my family, it really does just, gives me an opportunity, to find ways that I can show my family, and friends that I love them. Like, honestly, I haven't done Christmas cards in years. And every year I say that I'm going to do them. But, we get so busy, with day to day life and, and all of our stuff. And then, you look up and it's too late to do them. Well, I said this year I'm sending Christmas cards to everyone that I know. Like I spent time on the phone with my mother 2 days ago. She was gathering addresses for me, like for all of my, just people in my family. And but just a little thing that we can do to let someone know, that you're thinking about them, that you care about them. If there's someone that you haven't spoken with in a long time, reach out to them and just, say hello. Writing is almost a lost art. Write a letter to someone. There's so many things that we can do to help bring joy to someone else. And as I said, that will help to bring joy into your life. So, try to think of little ways, little things that you can do because, again, with everything that's happening in the world right now, all of our celebrations have been impacted, graduations, weddings, and anniversaries and birthdays. And, everything has been impacted by this pandemic. But I think it's an opportunity for us to really get back to the heart of, the true meaning of Christmas. Christmas is a celebration of the birth date of Jesus the Christ, Jesus who came to teach us love. And, we've made Christmas so commercialized that, we don't even really think about the real meaning of it anymore. So, Jesus came to teach us to love. So truly, we are in the season of love. So, give that some thought and try to come up with ways that you can show and express your love in this season. Tap into that beautiful energy, the love of God that is, as I said, always present, always available, and find ways of expressing that and showing that to the people you love. And it doesn't have to be a gift. I know that, as I said, a lot of people are facing financial hardships right now, and gift giving may not even be something that's a possibility right now. but you can find beautiful ways of showing someone that you really care about them. Write that person a heartfelt letter. People do understand. And, we put so much pressure on ourselves with this whole concept of, this whole gift giving thing. And I'm sure particularly right now in this season, this year, the pressure of the Christmas gift giving is probably even more compounded for some people. So don't put pressure on yourselves. Like I said, tap into the true meaning of Christmas, and that is all about love. And, just find beautiful little ways of expressing your love. One year, I was visiting with my family in Texas, and I gave everyone a gift. I have a huge family, but I given a gift to everyone, and I also gave everyone a little empty box. And I had them all open the box at the same time, and I said, you've been given the gift of love. Because love is a beautiful gift that costs nothing, and it's unlimited. Um, and we always, there's always more. You can't use it up. So, just find beautiful little ways of expressing your love. And trust me when I tell you, by tapping into your heart space and touching someone else's heart, that is going to help you to bring joy into your life. So, find little cute, clever, creative ways of expressing yourself. I think homemade, thoughtful gifts, really give your gift some thought, because honestly, one of the issues that I've always had with Christmas, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Christmas. I love the meaning of Christmas. I love um, all the festivity and the lights and the color and it's so festive and beautiful. But the whole gift giving aspect of it, people are like, well, this is what I want for Christmas, or, get me this for Christmas. Well, what do you want for Christmas? What is that? Where's the meaning in that? So, find ways of giving something meaningful. And like I said, it doesn't even have to cost anything. You can, love is the most beautiful, absolutely the most beautiful gift that you can give to someone. So, and believe me, you will find that it will help you to find the joy that you are needing and wanting, in this season. See. Okay, so as I said, just really start to give some thought to, preparing for 2021. Because it is truly so vital and important that, anything that's troubling you in this time, use the remainder of this year to make peace with that. Just to, give it to God or whatever it is that you need to do so that you can make a conscious decision, between now and January 1st. I'm choosing to let go of anything that does not serve my highest and greatest good. And I'm going to step into 2021 with a new mindset, like a total reset, a reset in my way of thinking, in my way of being, in my way of speaking, in my interaction with others, that I'm going to choose to step into 2021, with positivity, with love in my heart, with full faith and trust. And, so whatever the year brings, you step into that, all of whatever 21 has for us, step into it with a positive mindset, and you're going to get through it so much easier. So again, just, let's take this time, these, the last couple of weeks in this year, to really start to just, close out and make peace with and release whatever we need to let go of, in preparation for the new year. So, it really does take practice, as I said, each and every day, life is a practice in being joyful, in being happy, in being positive, in being, a person of love, because, we really want to live for God, live our lives in ways that are pleasing to God. And when we are in our heart space, I think God is most happy, most pleased with us. When I took in these little kittens, and believe me, I really wasn't even thinking of taking on a pet. I gifted my dog. I had a little dog that I adored, and my father passed away 5 years ago, and I went to visit her last year, Thanksgiving, and my mom and my sister fell in love with my dog, and my mother asked me to leave him. And it was a really that experience truly grabbed my heart. But I saw that my mother had connected with my dog, and she needed that little ray of light that he is. I mean, he has brought so much love and joy to my sister that it warms my heart. I speak to my mom every day, and she literally talks about him every single day. Like, they absolutely love him. And it's like, how can I be sad about something that has brought so much joy to someone else? So now these little kittens have come into my life, which, as I said, I didn't anticipate or plan for, but I have an opportunity to help save these little kittens. And they have brought so much joy and laughter to me that, I'm enjoying them so much. So we never know what life has in store for us. But as I said, the positive attitude is truly half the battle. So be really aware of what you're thinking about, of the thoughts that you're telling yourself. And when you're having those negative thoughts, literally say no. You sometimes you have to tell yourself to stop it, because it's almost habit. We've gotten ourselves into a cycle of thinking and feeling those ways. And, we have to train our brain, retrain the brain to think positive. Like, okay, no, I've had enough of the negativity. I've had enough of the doubt and the fear, so it's work. Like I said, every day it's a practice. And anything that you practice, it gets easier. So, make a conscious decision to start now. Tell yourself, I'm starting right now. I'm choosing to be happy. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to will myself through whatever experience, through these holidays, through this pandemic, just, you know, staying close to God and being positive, optimistic, and, one day at a time. Um, let's see. Also, I want to just take a moment to say, if anyone watching this love talk, if there's so much information that's swirling around about the pandemic. And, we've heard so many, different things. I don't think anybody really knows what to believe anymore, or, what is the best thing to do. But I really just want to make a little personal appeal, to please wear your masks, because it truly does make a difference. I just came back from Hawaii. I spent Thanksgiving with my children in Hawaii, and I went there because, well, one, obviously I wanted to see my kids, but um, Hawaii is so safe, because they are taking the pandemic so seriously there. Like, it's an island, it could be catastrophic. So they are taking it very seriously, like mandatory testing to go there. Everywhere you go, you have to show your test results. I mean, they are really on top of it. If anyone sees you without a mask, they will tell you on the spot. Like, they're issuing citations. Like, they are really taking it seriously. But on the island of Maui, there are 4 coronavirus cases. So that tells you it works. Other countries have gotten this under control. We have to be responsible. We have to wear a mask, all of the things that we've heard, the social distancing, washing hands, disinfecting things, take the time, put in the effort, because, we may not personally be afraid of the virus, but there are a lot of people who are, who have not made it because, because of someone, people being irresponsible in this time. So we really have to take this thing seriously, and let's all do our part to get through this thing. So, I just wanted to share that because, like I said, it's clear to me that the precautions truly do make a difference. Like I said, on Maui, they really do have it under control. So, and just don't be afraid. Believe, believe, because love is a healer. And I think when we are truly tapped into that energy of love, when we are connected to God, that is truly the power that is going to get us, through this time. And oh, there was something I was going to share that just, well, love is our greatest defense. That is what I truly believe with all my heart. And I was going to say, don't ever tempt fate. I think that, there are people who are just, like, oh, God has me and I'm not worried about coronavirus. No, don't have that. Don't have that mindset. There's this, I don't know if you call it a joke, but there's this, I guess it's a joke, but this man who drowned. He was on the roof of a house and, like he saw the flood waters coming and a boat went by and they're like, the waters are rising, get in this boat. And he's sitting on the roof going, no, God's going to take care of me. And then, I think something else comes along and he's like, no, I'm fine. God's going to take care of me. But long story short, the man ends up drowning. And, the moral to the story is, yes, absolutely believe in God, but, you have to take action, get in that boat, put on that mask, take precautions. We are in this experience and, we have to do whatever we can to get out of it. So just, wanted to give my 2 cents on that. So, just arm yourself with love each and every day, speak over your life, claim your health and wholeness and divine protection, that God is your shield and your sword, as I said, take precautions, but also, speak that, I am well, I am protected, everywhere I go. And I don't go out often. I stay home. I'm following the guidelines for California. But whenever I do go out, I speak before I get into my car that I am divinely protected. So I'm claiming that energy of protection around me. Absolutely. I'm wearing my mask. I'm sanitizing my hands. I sanitize everything when I get home. I think I may have become a little OCD, but I'm doing whatever I have to do to protect myself and ultimately others, because that's really how I think about it. Every person who gets the virus, you are potentially infecting another person and someone who may not make it. I think, if you have teenagers, really express to them the importance, because, I think a lot of teenagers have the mindset that, oh, if I get it, I'll be fine. So, we have to, really take the lead, be the example. So, like I said, let's just, let's work through this and we'll get through this time together. So I do have a poem that I'm going to share today. It's titled Love by You. It's actually a poem that I wrote to God. And before I do that, quickly, I'm going to announce the winner of the book drawing last week. If you are new to Love Talks, each week I gift a hardback copy of my book of poetry. So if you watch the video, if you leave a like or a comment, you're automatically entered in the drawing for next week. So the winner this week is Candy Jenkins. So congratulations, Candy, if you are watching. I'll be contacting you to get your mailing information. And so I'm going to share Loved by You. Thank you, Lord, for being here whenever we need you. Your glory ever present, always shining through. You rescue us from darkness when the light around grows dim. Our hearts revive each time we hear a loving Savior's hymn. We attune our souls with gratitude. In stillness, find the way. And we ask one loving question: how can we serve you, Lord, today? Our grateful hearts rejoice. Truth remains unchanged. We breathe and just believe when we call the Savior's name. Guide us, Lord, each day on the path of love to you. Let our hearts be ever thankful as our faith each day renews. To your love we shall abide as your light reveals the way. May your peace be ever present every moment, every day. Be forever by our sides. We dedicate our lives to you. We are your lights, so full of love, because we know we're loved by you. So, thank you guys so much. That is our love talk for this week. And next week, we'll continue with the series. I'm just allowing love talks to unfold every week. So I don't exactly know where we're going next week, but it always comes to me. We'll continue. I hope that you'll, plan to join me. And in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful, safe, healthy, happy week ahead. As I said, stay close to God, stay positive, one day at a time, and we'll get through this. So I thank you all again for watching, and I hope you'll be back next Sunday at 5. Take care.